Yes, we did. Amazing. All right. Thank you very much for listening to or watching the Upland Down Under podcast. Tonight's show's recording live on Thursday, the 13th of June at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. On tonight's show, we're going to catch up on the Upland market floors like we always do. Upland has featured in a new Unifying the Metaverse article, and the Genesis node Midtown Terrace finally gets craterified. The main topic for tonight's show is, of course, trying to collate, review, and reflect on the very fuzzy details in the Genesis Week hangover. It looked like everyone attending had a pretty awesome time, which is great. However, for the overwhelming majority of us Uplanders who couldn't attend, the coverage of events was and remains pretty woeful, a bit of a woeful headache. We've got QIPS tonight on the Sandbox Metaverse, the Ethereum Bridge, and the newly released activity feed. What else have we got? We've got another look at a community member spotlight care of the Dynamic Node Builders, and tonight we'll also give away something in the order of 40,000 UPX and a final killer 3-piece graveyard map asset set from show sponsor Laban and his Metaventure Graveyard Goods. We've also got a slightly expanded format for the live participants wheel, and tonight's show will take the 2024 giveaway tally to over 900,000 UPX and about 55 map assets. All that more on this, the Upland Down Under podcast. Now, yes, I'll make the band with his shop of graveyard goods. He's got an extra showroom. So let me bring that up and we'll go through his blurb one last time. So tonight's show is again proudly brought to you by the one and only Laban and his brand new UGC map asset Metaventure Graveyard Goods. With showrooms currently located in Oakland, LA, and now Queens, drag your bones over to visit one of Graveyard Goods showrooms and bring your property to life or death with some killer Gravestone map assets. Terrifyingly affordable and guaranteed not to leave you in the grave financially. Choose currently from 3 different models to suit your haunting needs. Don't forget that if you own a property in Lone Mountain, San Francisco, you can slash 50% off the retail price. DM Laban for more details, either in-game, on Discord, or in the new in-game activity feed chatio thing. Get him on over there as well. Links to all of that are in the description, of course. If you're wondering how you can take part in the live streaming of this podcast, I dropped the link to the live stream in the NBA server Thursday nights at about 6:45 p.m. AEST. And you can, of course, also just keep your eyes out on the associated YouTube and X feeds of mine also. All right, now speaking of that, it is time for the disclaimer, if this button will work.
Warning, this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment, contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved.
Very biased opinions. All right, let's get stuck into the Breaking Bad news and take a look at what's currently happening in the Upland markets. Apologies, I got the numbers from Swally this afternoon and I was so excited to get them. I patched them all in and spat it out and spammed it all around the place and then realised I'd forgotten a whole bunch of the numbers off it. So here's the proper set of numbers. So what's happening? Now, I was surprised at this. The 90-day averages, despite Genesis Week and whatnot, and a new city expansion, or whatever you want to call it, a full country release, if that's how you want to look at it, we're red on both of those, down 4.3% on the transaction volume and 1.8% on the trading volume. Of course, that's 90 days, so it does take a while for that to bleed through. But unique active wallets for the 7 days also down, almost 10%. Was 75,380 for the week prior. This week, 68,580. That probably surprised me the most, that one. If people aren't going to get excited and engaged for Genesis Week, I mean, when will they?
Total the event for the accounts ended.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the accounts may be only used when events are active. To don't.
Yes, like you would be suggesting, like perhaps registering for terminal sales and things like that.
Maybe.
Suddenly all these accounts come out from nowhere?
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yes. So we had 6,194 properties, but of course that's just what's left over after Bermuda. That number will stabilise a bit. Total properties for sale, no surprise to see after a city release, that number's up 2,151 from last week. So just under 750,000 properties for sale. What do we got? The floor markup percentages, plenty of red still. 24 is still the lowest currently. There's not as many 25s, which is nice, but there's still plenty of red there. Currently, the only one in the green is Rutherford still, except LaSalle, which is an outlier. Rutherford's still at 158%. Everything else well and truly under mint. So bargains galore here, there, and everywhere. What's happening in the cities? Arlington, 21.8% boost on the USD, was $5.50 last week, now $6.70. What's going on in... Oh, yeah, of course. Bermuda... Whoa! Bermuda down 92.5% on the UPX and 93.5% on the USD. Was 190,000 UPX last week, now 14,244 this week. Was $75 last week, now $4.85. Yowzers. Not surprising, no. Birmingham, on the other hand, bit of action going there. That's interesting. It's up on the USD and down on the UPX, up 32.7% on the USD. Was flat on the $3 last week, now pushed away and heading for $4. Interesting. Do we have any other fresh $3 floors? 333, no, 33. Oakland's also pushed off the $3 floor, up 16.3%. Was $3 last week, now just under $3.50. That's all threes, 3. Oh, no. So yes, anything else jumping out? Dallas up a whopping almost 25% on the UPX and 43% on the USD. Was $3.50 last week, now $5. Las Vegas. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense to have a bit of a boost there. Maybe people who missed out. Although I think there's still plenty of unminted in Las Vegas, isn't there? Up almost 18% to $3.77. Manhattan up 9% on the UPX and 25% on the USD. Was 64,000 last week, now just under 70 and just under 20 and now 25. Interesting, there's been I've seen a few screenshots of people starting to establish treasure webs in Manhattan. Good place to do it if you've got the funds to do it. And what else have we got? Bit here, there, and everywhere. And I've already patched in Paris there. I did that this afternoon. Why the hell not? Get excited for that. Just a little bit. All right, that's enough ranting and raving for me. Welcome back to the fold, Bueller Man, and of course, one and only Swally Man. As always, how are we doing this evening?
Very good, my friend, and yourself?
Yeah, I recovered from my half-dead episode I had last week. I was pretty much in bed all Saturday and Sunday. So my daughter and I, we were out for the count. Fighting fit again now. But now Maya's down. There's a bunch of, too much information, but a bunch of diarrhea and gastro sweeping through all of the schools and everything here at the moment. So fun times. How about you, Bueller?
Yeah, good morning from me. Good morning from me. 11 a.m. here. I'm just starting my lunch break in the normal job to take part, like most weeks if possible. But family and all is okay here.
All right, I'll try not to talk about diarrhea too much then if you're on your lunch break.
Don't spread the virus to the net. Keep it at your place, please.
I'll try, yes. All right, so if you didn't see, Upland has recently featured in a bit of an interesting article here, unifying the metaverse, why it needs to be done and done soon. Now, it is it's not lengthy, but it is perhaps a bit verbose. So you know what I'm like. I fed it into ChatGPT and I said, summarize this for me. And this is what it had to say about it. It said, in a recent article, Unifying the Metaverse, Why It Needs to Be Done and Done Soon, the importance of creating unified technical standards for the metaverse is highlighted. The lack of common protocols and standards currently leads to fragmented virtual environments controlled by specific companies, making interoperability challenging. Upland is mentioned as an example of how collaboration and standardization can be successful in the metaverse. It also outlines that during Upland's Genesis Week 2024, the platform introduced innovative concepts like neighborhood bundles and announced future expansions such as Paris. The event showcased the potential of interoperability and collaborative growth within the metaverse, emphasizing the importance of unified standards for seamless user experience and economic integration. So yeah, I guess that's referring to OMA 3, the sandbox, the species, if you remember that, the whole species thing. I did see too, which is one of the things that I forgot to get ready for this show, was the Sandbox recently tweeted something. about. They showed a screen showing what their NFTs are gonna look like. Like it's almost like your own homepage, and you can list what NFTs you are going to be able to sell. Like Samurai Aquatics, for example, I could have a showroom that has them all there, kind of like what the 3D situation is with Nowhere and whatnot at the moment. So that looked pretty cool, actually. So hopefully that will transfer over to what we've got going on here as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Well, that's all I wanted to say for that. Now, one more thing to just kind of loose news to touch on before we kick over to the Genesis Week hangover. If you didn't see, yes, I was sick through the week. My daughter was still sick on Monday, and I was kind of not 100%, but somebody had to stay home, so I volunteered. And I finally bit the bullet after talking about it for more than a year and spent about 5 hours moving structure ornament crates here, there, and everywhere all around Mid-10 Terrace. Was it time well spent? Perhaps. I don't know. If you're listening on the Spotify, you might want to check it out on the YouTubes or check out my X account. There's a screenshot there. But yeah, I focused on what I guess is kind of the main straight for the Mid-10 Terrace 100 track. You can burn down here and you get to see all the Genesis ornaments there. Look at all these bloody crates everywhere. Was it fun? No, it wasn't. But at least on the PC version, it didn't crash. There's no way I would have been able to do that on mobile. So I decked all that out with the kind of Genesis stuff. And then I didn't realise I had so many of these bloody winter ornaments. So Mid-10 Terrace has kind of turned into the snowy Christmassy node or something. I had plenty of those. So I spread those around a bit. I tried to stay around the track. And it's a bit of a horror area here. I thought I had way more horror structure ornaments, but it turns out I've got just an absolute crap ton of small townhouse. I've got heaps of those. So if anybody wants to do a swap on those, hit me up because I would like to deck out that area there. If you don't know that, I kind of wrecked the sign there, but I played around with the roof colours. So that says MTU for Mid-10 Terrace United. I'd like to deck that out in horror-y stuff. And then I've got this space down here, the Delbrook Ave short track. I kind of set this up like it was going to be a little go-kart track, and that says UDU as well if you squint and stick your tongue out to the side. So I'd like to get that done as well. So if you're a UGC content creator focusing on structure ornaments and you'd like a bulk deal, or you do custom orders or something like that, hit me up. I may be able to work something out. And then I've got this little kind of culty, evilly spot down here that was already decked out as well. So check that out for weirdness. So yes, crates everywhere. Cratified. Now, as part of that, Upland asked what's a good neighbourhood in the area that kind of showcases all of that stuff. I shared that before too. So if you're in a node, if you've got a spot and you want to check it out or show it off, get on over to X and see the official Upland accounts. And that's all I've got to say on that, unless anybody has any questions or suggestions or comments on moving what was over 100 crates. I don't even know, 200 maybe? 200 crates? Wasn't fun. Nope, shaking heads.
No, don't bother doing it myself at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, even just because I had all of those listed for sale in my structure ornaments showroom, even just the laborious process, I think it's at least 2 button clicks you got to do to unlist them all.
And then
Just
wait
that
3
alone.
minutes.
Yeah, just that alone took ages. So, yeah, it was quite the challenge, but lucky I had the time. All right, so that brings us on over to what I pegged as the main topic for the show. Swally and I were kind of talking about this before we got kicked off, that perhaps there wasn't much to talk about tonight, but I don't know, there's a fair bit there if you can put in the effort to dig around and find it. So I'll run through the bit of a blurb at the start. So as I said at the start of the show, it looked like everyone attending Genesis Week had an awesome time. And I hear that plenty of fun was had, which is great. And there was even a couple of really bonkers stories shared, such as D-Tech's insane ordeal just to get there by the skin of his teeth. If you haven't heard or read that one, get on over to his Discord. And I believe he's got it there in the announcements or something. got there by the skin of his teeth. Quite the challenge just to get there. However, as I said, for the overwhelming majority of Uplanders who couldn't attend, the coverage of events from afar was absolutely woeful, and I think it was summed up best by Steve when a few of us were discussing it in the Upland General chat this morning. He said for non-attendees, this year was worse than last year, and last year was worse than the year before, in his opinion. He goes on to say Upland don't seem to see that as an issue, though, and were specifically going for an in-person feel this year, so mission accomplished, he supposes. So I followed up by saying, of course, they're going to think it was great because they were all in attendance. If you're in attendance, it would have been probably the best Genesis week ever. But yes, from afar, it's definitely lackluster would be a kind way to say it. Just woefully inadequate would probably be more accurate. I do have to give thanks to Relics, Mr. Alan C, Slack, and a bunch of the other community members who did put out some videos and live streams, but the chaotic nature and the loud noises and whatnot in those made it was quite difficult to sit there and consume it. I think there was a few of Relics' ones where I fast forwarded to a few points and checked out a few different things. Shout out to Slack. I love the ones he was doing with Mr. Alan C. Just kind of real short form ones. They were a bit of fun. There was some stuff shared here and there on X, particularly via the Genesis Live hashtag. A lot of that was well after the fact. My greatest frustration was when it came to the awards ceremony. Not because I was nominated. I think I've been very clear that I don't really put any value in that myself, but I know for D-Tech, I know how much work he'd put in, and especially after the ordeal he went through to get there, I couldn't even find out if he won or not. Like, there was hints that he had, there was no official confirmation. It was kind of driving me crazy. And then it turned out that he certainly did. So, yeah, really no excuse for that. Why they couldn't take a short clip as that was happening. They did eventually follow up on it and posted a few different things, but it was well after the fact. So hopefully Upland can take the feedback on board from all that and going to go back to putting in at least some effort next year, please. Yes. So speaking of winners, congratulations, of course, to Elijah Judah for taking out a very well-deserved Uplander of the Year, the UPX podcast for finally taking home the Broadcaster of the Year, and yes, of course, the one and only D-Tech who took out the Designer of the Year. He won the Genesis Week Design Challenge, and he was also part of the hackathon winning team Upland Aliens, which, and here's another classic example, we didn't get to see any of the hackathon stuff. I'm not certain who's even in the Upland Aliens team. I believe it's Joe Lives, Dr. Tid, and D-Tech. Apologies if I'm missing anyone. We just don't know. Also, congratulations to City Pigeon, who was the lucky winner of the MV Aviation 300 Albatross plane. What else happened? Well, I'll be buggered if I know, really. But I guess we can have a bit of a crack at it, piecing together the little bits and pieces of information that were here, there, and everywhere. So, I've got a list here that I kind of pieced this together in a big rush this evening. See how we go. First off, which was something that I had a lot of DMs about this that followed up on it, was the neighborhood bundles. I don't think anybody saw this on their radar. So if you missed the Blockware Beat podcast that I put out earlier in the week, the neighborhood bundles is a groundbreaking feature where Upland has put for sale entire neighborhoods. One's in Las Vegas, one's in Miami, and you can buy the entirety of Treasure Island in San Francisco. Pretty crazy stuff. What do you think about this one when this dropped, Swally Man?
Two schools of thought on this one. First of all, like, being a player, holy crap, wouldn't that be awesome to own? To own the whole island in San Francisco, that'd be amazing. Like, tell me a player in the game that wouldn't love to just have that. Obviously, the dollar cost to go with it is probably out of the reach of almost everybody, if not everybody. But to own that would be absolutely phenomenal. I'd say probably even better than owning the White House, maybe. But the flip side of that, being a treasure hunter, that would be a pain in the effing ass.
Yeah, well,
you know you're going to get some treasures over there, and if they set it all at maximum or something like that, you're better off not even bother to go over there and just let that treasure go. But that's a minor. That's super minor. Overall, it's probably not a bad idea. I mean, yeah, I can see it happening in the future if they do sell them for other cities as well. But yeah, it's a cool idea. Obviously, I'm never going to have 20 ETH spare to throw at it, but good on anyone that can.
Yes, I was just looking. The current Ethereum price is basically $3,500. So if you want to buy Treasure Island, what was it? It's
about 70K.
19.56 ETH. Yeah, it's about 70,000. Which what's that in our money? 120 or something?
About just over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
if you just put together a few of your friends, or virtual friends, if you maybe you never met them in real life,
you got to be careful with that.
Get 70 friends.
Yeah, friends in but maybe there are some players who get together to get one of these packs. I just seen a few discussions in different channels of people trying to think, okay, if I spend 2 Ethereum and you 1, and maybe someone only want to spend real dollars because he don't own Ethereum, maybe they're getting some people together to buy one of these packs. Maybe an option if you have enough trust to the others.
Definitely
and no
an option.
financial advice. No advice from our side.
Definitely an option. And if there ever was a platform in crypto that could do it without too much drama, it would be Upland. I think the community in Upland's fairly on board with each other and fairly honest. I don't think there's too many dramas out there. So it's definitely an option, but that's a lot of money. Like even the smaller ones, like I think it's only about 10 grand. I think for
you need enough trust to do it, and this is the basics. There are some maybe not so good players to don't use any bad words about some players who maybe try to scam someone out of something. But there are many honest players. That's the other side of the medal. So maybe if not something went wrong, then we can do it.
Something went wrong is don't have 20 Ethereum in my
account.
Yeah. That's. I'm not an accountant. This is definitely not financial advice, but if you're somebody who's thinking about pooling funds to get one of these things, please consider the tax implications and how messy that's going to be to try and sort all that out. So, yeah.
Oh, to divide the properties up too, like that.
Oh yeah, that's
get a degree. 800, or the San Francisco one, 893 properties, all different sizes, and like to divide it all up. So, and then people are going to want certain ones over the other ones, and yeah.
I don't say it is easy, but it's possible. Possible is not always easy.
Well, it's not a problem.
Too, so this would be a prime example of where a good smart contract could come into play. You know.
You mean eventually soon in the future?
Yeah, we got him back.
A syndicate.
He's back.
Yeah, syndicate maybe. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I think it's really good. It gives high-end investors or people out there who want to go hard like this. Think of even people like Abdullah. If this system had been available back in the day when he was in his buying sprees, I'm sure he would have gobbled some of these up. I think it's really good to have some of those big carrots out there. Like you're talking other metaverses like the Sandbox and whatnot. They have their entry-level properties, but they always have those big carrots out there for the big fat whales as well. So I think it's important.
And speaking of Sandbox, and Laban's put that in private chat, or for a business, which I think is where Upland was sort of trying to head towards in the first place. So if a large organization came into Upland, I mean, 70 grand to them is probably bugger all, which they'd write off on tax, and they could create a whole neighborhood that was themed around whatever their business is. And I'm sure Upland would bend over backwards to help them, which would be fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it's good. All in all, I've spent more than some of those bundles on just a single property in the Dumbo collection. So, back in the day when I was in my sprees too. So, yeah. All in all, I think it's a really good addition. I hope it was interesting to see that some people were playing around immediately, like pressing they're going to buy it now, and then it looked like everyone was going, "Oh shit, somebody's bought it."
All
But
three
people were
instantly
just
bought.
playing
Yeah.
around. Yeah. So that was kind of cool to see that people having a bit of fun playing around. I think it was
So there was even tweets that went out saying someone
Yeah.
just spent 70 grand, and then that tweet got deleted because it obviously wasn't spent.
Yeah. I think it was Lisette followed up with somebody in Discord, like, who was it? I forget who it was, but she's like, "Oh, did you really mean to buy that? Was there something wrong?"
Yeah, we
I'm
did
sure
too. Yes.
Upland would love these one to sell, because obviously that's whenever the first one does sell, that's a big talking point for them as well. Look what they've been able to achieve. So, all in all, pretty cool. All right, so that was one of the things. And of course, we did have the full Bermuda release. Now, last week I went on one of my usual rants. Well, I'm not going to get up at stupid AM, blah, blah, blah. This sucks, whatever. I'll see what's available on the back end. Well, it turns out I was up half the night with myself and my daughter who was sick. I was awake at the time, so I thought, bugger it, I'll head on over there. And I was there minting away happily for a couple of minutes. And then lo and behold, the what was it, the Sahara hotel Wi-Fi shat the bed and they had to turn it off for a while. That kind of sucked. It was working perfectly for me, which is rare. Should have been bad luck for you.
Ironically, that was the most news we got out of G Week, was the fact that their internet went down.
Yes. Yes. So, I had a bit over 2 mil in UpX. I spent pretty much the lot buying up a whole bunch of waterfronts. I got my showroom location, of course. Not that we know that there's going to be showrooms there, but I've got one there just in case. I picked up a 3 set, and then I picked up a whole bunch as flippers as well. How about yourself, Swally?
Yeah, the big whale who was going to cash out from Upland. I just seen some tweets about your USD sales.
Yes.
As I said, I didn't go.
Yeah.
I happened to wake up, I think, shortly after the release and sort of jumped on to have a look. And I think I saw that you were up as well. So I had a quick chat to you. But I hadn't even realized that they'd paused it because I saw that there was, like, you showed me a screenshot of some of the stuff that you bought, and I realized it wasn't green in the background. Therefore, being able for you to mint. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? And that's when I realized that, so I didn't get involved in this one. As I said last week, I'm still sort of committed to trying to build up that web in Washington, so I was more than happy to spend my money there. This, like we said last week, I mean, it's not a bad release, this Bermuda. It would have been an awesome G Week release had there not been that small release on April Fool's, which I think diluted this release a little bit. Otherwise, it's something different. It's pretty cool. It's not a US-based city. Some interesting street names in Bermuda, that's for sure. If you've noticed that.
We're talking about that. We're talking about that in general today, yeah.
I think someone showed one, I think it was Morning Glory or something.
Yeah, and I said it's facing the wrong way. It's got the Foster's flop, and that was a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And what is it, pain and suffering or something as well?
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a few others, but that was pretty cool. But I didn't get into
some nice names. Yes. Happy Talk Drive. That's someone.
I didn't get into any of the speculations, any of the collection speculations, or anything like that.
It's all relative, huh? relative role.
I mean, you said you bought waterfront property. Other people were tweeting their waterfront properties. I'm like, but half the release is waterfront properties. I don't think it's all that unique. Yep. There's so many waterfront properties.
Unminted.
Waterfront,
unminted still. It is hexy. I minted just heaps of them. I was surprised at how easy it was to come along. I was just minting. I was kind of doing the old jump technique. A lot of these along here, these were all mine. The jump and hop. There was no properties along here. I'd just land on one, mint, and kept hopping along. That one I've got this one here as my potential showroom one. I've just got that one there. And then this neighborhood here, what is it, Peugeot or something? Paget. It was bloody expensive, so I just decided to I'll put a building up here, and I've got these other two just in case it happens to be a collection.
That'd be
Don't forget, I
exclusive,
think
yeah.
collection reveals tonight, isn't it? Or this
No,
morning?
no, tomorrow.
Couple of hours.
No,
Is
it's
it?
a
Yeah.
day later than normal, remember? So I think it's like 2 a.m. Saturday for us.
Okay.
So another 24 hours.
Yeah, so I'll hold on to those if that's not a collection. If this Peugeot is not a collection, I'll just flip those for USD too.
So there's a good
yeah,
chance.
It'd be nice to get a 3 set there, but yeah, bloody expensive. Whew.
If it is a collection, there's no shortage of getting more.
Well, it'd have to be, surely. At those prices.
There was some very expensive
city.
The very expensive neighborhoods in Washington that weren't collections.
True, yes. Yeah, so there's still swathes unminted there, which is quite a surprise. Although I guess it's no surprise really that if you were going to mint in Bermuda, you'd mint on the edges around the waterfronts.
Yeah, and not for high price. Not without knowing it's a collection.
Yeah, what do we got here? Just a whatever property in the middle of nowhere. 22,000 FSAs.
Still some pretty cheap stuff to get.
Yeah,
that's what's destroyed the market from 92%. The FSAs.
Yes.
Yes.
190,000 down to 8,000 mint property. Or there would have been lower than that, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yeah, I had a bit of a role to play in that as well. I was surprised when USD sales became available. I didn't get up right when they became available. I was probably 3-4 hours later. I was surprised to see that the USD floor was at 40%. I was expecting it to be in the low 30s. I ended up staggering I think I had 20 there for sale. I staggered them from about 39% all the way down to, I think, what I got to 24 or something like that for some of the real cheap $7 ones. So, yeah. So some people snabbled up some bargains. And yes, as you can see, I'm currently trying to rebuild as we speak.
Hey, I got more than you.
Nice. Yeah, Buellerman was talking about this tweet I put out here. So I kind of said thank you to Upland and the community for all of my snabbling up all my Bermuda flips. That is, as I've been talking about, I've got 2 retaining walls to build. Going to take the family out for dinner, we might have fire night tomorrow night, so we might get some takeaway or something, and taxes, of course. So I spent $2 million UPEX. Change that into just under $600 and plus don't forget I've still got those 4 properties and the mint prices on those were pretty high as well, and then that all came out to just under 900 Australian dollars. So I don't know, I was pretty happy with that myself. If I'm going to be able to do that fairly consistently, make a grand every city release, that might be my new tactic. Don't know.
Not a bad idea.
Better than a poke in the eye with a burnt stick, as we say.
Wish I could do it.
Yes, we'll get there eventually, especially if all this news kicks off. And as I said, like Upland's in a prime position, but we still really haven't had any of that mainstream push yet. So anything's liable to happen there. So yes, Bermuda was a bit of a false start. I don't know. I still think it was a pretty average kind of release for Genesis Week. It certainly didn't scream, wow, Genesis Week, yay, that's awesome. But I guess they kind of saved that moment for their mic drop at the end of the event.
Please.
No real surprises there, though.
Please.
Have at it, Swally, have at it while I rack up.
It's not a mic drop. I mean, every man and his dog's been predicting this all year. It's not and the Olympics there this year. It wasn't a mic drop.
Yeah,
but
right. So we did have this video.
Yeah, it'll be a cool city to see.
Now, what do you think? Is there Easter eggs in here? We've got this jet,
probably,
and there's a water tornado. There's a bloody lightning. There's a big storm going on. I've seen there's speculation about
natural disasters. Natural disasters. Black holes.
Well, there's a portal, so that'll have something to do with I'm guessing sandbox.
Yep. Yeah, there's the portal.
X1 was saying that everything's got Easter eggs in it, and we just never seem to pick them up. But Yeah, my brain doesn't switch on enough at these
But
days.
they are planning with Portal Map Assets, I think, because I talked to someone who just got denied Portal style map assets from the.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I tried to find that. I was sure it was a tweet from Sandbox where they showed their bloody UI for NFTs. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Look at this. I'm assuming you can see that. So see that there? Is that showing? Yeah. So
Are these map assets?
Well, they're a bit of everything.
Block explorers.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. But it shows like could be wearables, could be everything. So this is just showing how they display their NFTs.
I wonder if I can bring my Sandbox stuff across.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, isn't it? You're going to be able to buy things in either and move them across. Oh, sorry. Apologies if that volume was loud. Normally I turn that down.
No, just background.
Yeah, so this looks pretty cool. It'd be nice to have something like that in Upland associated with your home address. If you could go in your home address and you had all of this set up or something like that, that could be cool.
One day soon, eventually, maybe.
Hey. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, Paris. Yeah, I guess I kind of put in the notes as it was a quasi announcement that Paris is coming soon. Yeah. Start saving your UPX if you're all about it, I suppose. There was no indication of when, although if I'm remembering back to the big Rio mic drop at the end of the other one, it was fairly soon after, wasn't it? It didn't take that much.
It was quite a while. No.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was quite 4 or 5 months. No, I have
my memories.
I'll have a stab and say it's going to be the next season that Paris will come out. The reason being, I believe that they already had to start mapping it for the World Cup in case France won the World Cup. So they would have been ahead of the game anyway, with the Olympics being 26th of July, which will be during the next season.
Yep.
I think it just makes sense for them to do it next season. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Cool. All right, and the other major thing that was part of that one more thing drop was, of course, the new activity feed. Now, this kicked off a bit of fun. This kind of became the new layer 1 gamification. We're all about that. There was myself and a few others, so I'll give a bit of a shout out to Sir Devil. Him and I were kind of having a semi-competitive thing where we were trying to see who could follow the most people and whatnot. That kind of was interesting to see. Buleman, you might be able to speak to this. I did see that there was a bit of a rumour start to kick off in the German channel about me as a broadcaster perhaps having some insider knowledge. I had to throw a bucket of cold.
Yeah, I just saw your post and said, "Oh, Ben is capable of speaking German," but you just
definitely not. Yes.
Yeah, but all this it's the first days only where hey, someone followed someone, and this 10,000 times in a row because you get a post if you follow someone and everyone too.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see what I get. I got some private messages from someone we know who just asked, "Hey, maybe we can program a bot to do it, to just send this following clicks automatically to just get as much followers as possible without doing anything for it." But I think this will be against the terms of service because it's automation tools inside of Upland, and so I don't spend time to get something working like this, but it could be possible. But yeah, I don't get what I have from many followers right now.
So if they're not going to stop sniping bots, they're not going to stop you from befriending people in a in
Yes,
social media.
maybe I get jailed for something like this and not for because I don't use a sniping bot.
Because you're not raising
I'm
revenue.
sniping at people, not at properties. Yeah, this is the problem. Then yeah, okay.
Yes.
Upland not making
We
profit.
know that there is. Well, yeah, we know there is a bot because Upland uses one for the Miles B chain account. That's
That's not a bot. That is it's programmed. This works as intended. To maybe.
Yes. So.
I'm interested what they are doing with this account because he got many followers.
Yeah, I don't know either. I had people ask, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, why not? I certainly don't want to get caught with my pants down. We do know that Upland said they are going to mix it up for the next airdrop campaign. Could it have something to do with this system?
No.
I would be surprised if it doesn't.
No,
Swally's adamant against it. Yeah.
No, the airdrop campaign's all about trying to get new users on board. This is all about current users, so two different systems. It'll be
good point.
It'll be in Twitter again or in X, but there'll be more. There'll be more emphasis on actually creating the activity or something like that, not just retweeting.
Yeah, but they said there will be something in game too or in the app too. So maybe Ben is right that there's something. But hey, maybe it's just complete 2 ultra rare collections, spend $1,000 in game or something like this. No?
Could be. Hugh Yang's burning me in chat. He said, so Ben, you spent 5 hours on Midtown Terrace. How long did you invest into following friends? Wouldn't have been 5 hours, but it was quite a while. The most laborious point of it all is having to sit on the down arrow button and get to the very bottom of the Miles B chain account to get to the people that you haven't yet followed. It'd be nice if it was the other way around. It'd be nice if the people you've already followed were at the bottom and the people you haven't followed are at the top, or if there was a shortcut to do it or something. But yes, it is.
We will get this feature soon after the collection property search function.
Yeah. Property management tools first, thank you.
Yeah, because I think it's the same problem because they are only doing partial loads of the members and not do a long list you scroll about, but they reload the informations part by part of scrolling. And it's the same problem with the properties in the collection. So you don't get the full list if you open it, but only entries 0 to 50 and then 51 to 100. And so it's maybe not as easy as we think it should be, but it still is possible if you want it.
Yep. Yes, the activity feed itself, this is an awesome addition. I've been using this quite a lot. Yeah, it's really good. It's good to be able to post stuff on there. It's annoying on the app that you can't copy and paste from here. You can in mobile, which is interesting. You can't edit, which is a bit annoying, I don't believe. No, you can only delete it. I haven't had any issues with, like the in-game chat here. Sometimes you'll put a message and some word gets blacklisted and you lose the whole thing. I haven't seen that yet. But as far as the activity feed goes, really good. I like how it says completed constructions, blah, blah, blah. But they do need to get rid of this. We don't need notifications on everybody who's following everybody because it just becomes a mess.
It would be nice to have a filter function for it to say, I just want to see real posts like this one or all property related, or maybe listed a property for sale, which would be more interested in than someone bought a property. Or say, okay, hey, congratulations, but I would have known when this was listed to get it before you, because
absolutely,
yeah, and all this. I've in my timeline sometimes the original posts and then above the first repost and then above the second repost and then all the reposts from every other people. There should be some, maybe some scripting in the back end too to just say, hey, you this is the post and it has 20 reposts, but not show every repost again.
Yes. No, I love this. I think this is really good. I think this is a really important addition. It would be awesome if we could tie our X accounts into this. Like if you post on X, it automatically shares here, or your YouTube account, or if you do Facebook or any of that sort of stuff. If you could choose what socials you want over there. But as far as the very first iteration of it, yeah, I think this is good.
Yeah,
I
baby
think
steps.
it's really good, actually. Yep.
Well, they're already starting to
Yeah.
do their announcements in here instead of Discord, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I would like to see. I just hoped when I see these updates tab at first, I thought, oh hey, we get a place where they put all these announcements after you log in. You can, or you need to read if you want to read, but if you just click it away, you never get them back. That they put this ones somewhere in these update tabs, but then I saw this is the updates relating to messages or something in this chat. So
Yes.
I think they will rework, or they will work at it. I'm sure there will be some good and some bad updates in all displays.
Absolutely.
And you're always talking about wanting a dark mode. That'd be a brilliant spot for a dark mode.
Yep, sure would. Of course, whenever you have a new social thing like that, be mindful. I've already had probably a dozen or more chats. Hey, I've a new account. Can you help me reach bloody Uplander status or whatever the thing? Just yeah, I always say I'll help you out if I can, but yeah, be wary.
If they're only asking for a send, I think they actually do need people to send to their property or something. I don't know because I haven't been Uplander for ages, but I think that's part of one of their challenges or something to get a send to a property. So
might be.
That might be a legitimate request. It's when they go, oh, "Can you give me money or donate something to me or something like that?" That's a bit different. But as far as a send, yeah, of course they're never in the city that you're in, so
yeah, that was my point too.
Don't think there's too many newbies in Washington just quietly.
No, or San Francisco. I'm like, I have to go over to Oakland. That'll be the only trip I do for quite a while. I got to go and pick up a whole bunch of Laban's graveyard stones. But
I picked up a bunch this week.
Fair bit to get me out of San Francisco. Yes, but all in all, as far as that activity feed goes, awesome addition, Upland, love it. Bit more fine tuning and a bit more extra features, and it will be smicko, as we say down here.
Yeah, who knows where it'll be in a couple of years' time.
Yes, who knows where we'll be in a couple of years' time.
Exactly right.
Still waiting for property management tools.
Yeah, and totems. Round 2 of totems.
Jesus, I wasn't ready for that. Yes, absolutely. Oh, wow. All right. So some of the information we did kind of get, the AMA, we didn't get any information about that live. We kind of had to piece that together. It was somebody posted in general how it was kind of hilarious that Upland in Discord put the call out for, do you have questions for the AMA? But yeah, we can't find out the answers. So what's the freaking point? So yes. So
I wouldn't even know what questions were asked.
Yeah, no, we got no idea. So Upland did put a tweet out about some of the things that they talked about, apparently. So we'll have a quick look through that. We're building a Sparklet-powered UGC. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there was mention too that, where did I see that? Sparklet released on exchanges, potentially summer of 2024.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Summer 2024 means our winter. That means now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it
by the end of summer, so it'd be like by the end of October. So August, June, July, winter, June, July, August. So yeah, end of August.
Yep.
But question mark, though, if it doesn't happen, they'll go, well, we weren't sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to get announced this week. That was what I was most excited to be hearing.
Yeah.
And to see what they had secured, what exchanges, stuff like that. And boom. I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, well, I've got
so we see monuments there that they put a message from Abdullah on screen with his statement
that was cool to see.
Yeah, and it just fired all the rumors are already in place about this account. Maybe I just read somewhere that someone said, "Hey, it's just a message from Upland with another signature under it."
That wouldn't surprise me.
Surely somebody with that much opportunities, money, whatever you want to say, surely they could attend Las Vegas Genesis mode incognito. Yeah, I would not be at all surprised if You know,
he was there.
if somebody was in that kind of status and was there, just just walking around, taking it all in. I would if that was me. I'd definitely.
And maybe someone activated a multi-account for this and just just
Or
put
maybe-
another name on his badge.
Maybe when you go to 1100 Spark, one more doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's not a carrot. Yes, true. Yeah. So what else did they show? Yeah, share. There was this Imagine Temple Run multiplayer. So this was in Abdullah's Lusail Stadium. I haven't looked at this, played with this, done anything with this. It kind of, if you know, way back in the day, the Green Rabbit project, which was that kind of spawned from Upland and from the UDU way back in the day, it almost looks Green Rabbit-esque as far as the game that they kind of developed. It seems pretty cool. It looked like people were having fun playing with it. Like I said, I didn't check it out. And Swally or Beelerman or anybody in chat, did you check it out? What do you think?
This is the game the Hyde Park Ninjas just played in their stream. I don't watch much from their streams in the last time. I think they are excited about it.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean it looks alright, but it's not my type, not my cup of tea. So I was like, yeah. But again, it's only.
Yeah, I think it will be like all the other games. I will at least try it, and then just say, okay, it could be nice, but not for me, or just get into it. But hey, everything new can attract new players.
I'll be challenge next season. Or with the Olympics next season, it'll be a challenge to complete races or something like that in it, no doubt.
Yeah, I think the key missing link in all of that sort of stuff is, okay, Upland has, in some cases, provided this kind of platform, or whether it be through the developers network, they've put it up. I think we need to see more official support or more official involvement, engagements. I don't know. That's why I always go back to, we need more layer one kind of stuff like this. Again, I believe this is something, it's in the nowhere thing. So, you're leaving the app, you're going on, which means it's not going to really work on mobile, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I don't know. Wait and see. Lily, I don't have time to play. Just move assets around. Yes, I know all about that. Too well, in fact. So, yeah, perhaps pretty cool. What do they say? We're pioneers introducing a new class of NFTs, not just geolocated, but with a unique game royalty system. NFGs? Okay. Whoever figures this one out will own this new layer of the internet. Right now, anyone can do this with third-party dev tools, just like we did with monuments. Okay, neighborhoods. From now on, you can buy a whole neighborhood in the store, customize structures to make it unique thematically, and develop it. Yeah, that's going to be fascinating how that all develops. The partnership with Sandbox, we've covered that. Blueprint shops. I believe that was mentioned. That's going to be a game changer, that one too, if and when that finally comes through, but that's been talked about for years and years. Communities, neighborhoods will allow communities to build their own ecosystem within Upland, use our tools to create unique value in digital spaces. Next level is using developer tools for new forms of value in the context of neighborhood theme. Again, neighborhood ratings, neighborhood collections. Talk is cheap. We need some action. Sparklet utility for dev shops. Now, I saw, but I couldn't find official confirmation that it seemed that they'd mentioned third-party staking of Spark on other people's stuff. Oh, here it is here. Look, yeah. Users stake on dev's factory. Is that what that means?
I think so. They've been talking about that for... Boosts. That's another one day soon, eventually, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, but if I read this second time, users stake on developer's factory and get boosts. These boosts would be in the tool the developer provides. So if I have a game, maybe let's take Spark Tycoon as example. Maybe you can say, okay, if you stake your Sparklet on our factory, maybe you can generate some sort of resource in the game, and then
layer 2 game.
Yeah. Maybe something like this. The developer gets for this Spark hours to create map assets or something in his factory from other players, and rewards them with some boosts in the layer 2.
Could be. So it goes on to say, this opens
maybe
up
we
interesting
will see.
governance functions. What if the dev grant pool could be based on the number of unique Sparklet owners staking Sparklet in your game? Okay, fair enough. UGC is at the heart of the Upland economy. I mean, this graph is kind of hilarious. This graph doesn't mean anything really, because we do know that UGC was throttled to just us 10 beta participants for almost, or maybe even over a year. And of those 10, I think there was only really probably 4 or 5 of us that were actually active. And then Upland officially controlled who could get into UGC. So, I mean, they could make this graph whatever they want. It could have went directly vertical if they wanted it to. So, I mean, it's good. It has increased, it has improved or whatever, but it doesn't really mean much. Activity feed, we covered that. Transportation and racing. Again, this is one of those things. A lot of people were speculating, myself included. Are we going to finally get transportation mechanics? Seems pretty vague here.
Maybe if they say transportation and racing, something they talked about that you have to put the car you want to race with on the track or near the track on special properties. I think Deck and Musk have talked a few months ago about some of these ideas may be possible, so that you need some sort of transportation to get your racing cars to the racetracks, because normally all these stock cars or something like this don't drive on the normal roads. Huh?
Yeah.
Or a cart.
That would be on brand to make it introduce the next feature as a major headache. Make it more complicated than it needs to be.
Because we get more boxes to move.
Yes. Species. Well, that goes to that whole thing with, maintaining standards across the board with different animals kind of situations. We knew about that from ages ago. Everything they've talked about is meant to empower creators. Sure. And
the first reply is from the player who gets 41 spark for his chapter 1 airdrop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Creedor there. Let's go. Well, I'm sure you're pumped.
Yeah.
Yes. Or at least he's active. At least he's commenting.
He get 1 like on his post, so he has an active community behind. Sorry, sarcasm off. Sorry.
No, I love it. So, Swali, you pointed
Yes.
out in DMs some of the things which I think it's just as important to cover what they didn't talk about as what they did talk about, or at least from our outside perspective, was very well. There was no really mention of it that we could see. The biggest one there, totems. Like, shout out to Danny P2000. A lot of people were expecting that.
Yeah. Well, and talking to some of the other content creators, I think they were all a bit surprised. I think it was more of an afterthought too. I think they must have been too busy having a lot of fun. Whether the question of totems was asked or not at there, I don't know, but it seemed to be an afterthought almost about totems. No one knows anything more. I mean, I thought we would have at least had some sort of announcement when the next one was, given we had this potion stuff only a few weeks ago. So that was disappointing. But it'll happen soon, one day, maybe, eventually.
Eventually, yes. We mentioned sparklets. We kind of cover that. Yeah, there's a hint there that may be coming. But treasure hunting as well, Swallow.
Sparklet was on the rundown list. I remember seeing it briefly saying, "Let's talk sparklets." I don't know how much time they gave to it. Whether it was half an hour or 15 minutes, I don't know how much time it was, but whatever it was well and truly over budgeted for it. That the information was simply maybe by the end of summer.
Yeah.
Like.
Yes.
I mean, there's no new information about it, is there?
Well, that we've seen. Maybe there was, and it just hasn't been shared. Who would know?
No, people would have been talking about that from the get-go, especially someone like Goldie. And I haven't caught up with Cheese or anything she's done, but they would have been talking about it. Even Elslake with their lack of notes would have remembered Sparklet.
Yep.
So there clearly wasn't any groundbreaking information there. Otherwise, we would know about it.
Yeah. Treasure hunting. nothing as well that we saw?
Apparently, the question was asked in AMA about PC treasure hunt coming back. The answer was soon or very soon. And anything else that got excited, knowing that, I'm pretty keen to see that come back real quick, and sent me a message going, "Oh, they're coming back soon." And I went, "Mate, they say that about a lot of things all the time. I am not holding my breath until I see it pop up on my PC that I can actually spawn a standard chest." And I don't care about standard. I don't care about.
The question is, did they close all the holes people are using on the PC?
People find new holes.
They find new holes, but if they release something and then someone finds some new, maybe they just take it back offline. So it's hard. It's hard to develop an application to get it in such a closed sandbox that you can't manipulate it when you are on PC.
Well,
it's
maybe
much harder than on mobile.
Maybe Upland need to incentivize some white hackers to come to the party and help them find these holes and leaks and ways around it. Maybe giving them a small payment or some sort of in-game reward or something might be the way to go to stop these loopholes from being exploited.
But I think they knew some of these holes which are possible to use if you put enough effort in it. And I think they're just hard to close, to not... It's all the technology around all this this application and the web browser, and it sounds easy to do something, but if you just try to start to develop something, it gets frustrating. Maybe there's something like maybe you can intercept the traffic between your browser and the Upland servers and try to manipulate it, or just and this is hard if you are not able to secure this connection enough, and this is not possible in browser because you can try to man in the middle or something like that. There's many ideas you can try to get working to get something from it. So, and all this Cloudflare stuff, they are just implementing this captures, and all this is trying to stop it. But hey, you can edit your style sheets to get dark mode for yourself, and this is not possible in the app. So it's also possible to just manipulate the JavaScript used. This is what the players did to enhance their chances in treasure hunting. To just take the scripts which are running in your browser and manipulate them, and but you need them to use the app. So you can't just put them in the treasure or something like this that you can't manipulate. It's hard. And that's maybe it's too development heavy to just say, hey, our 40 developers are only on it, because it doesn't provide Upland as a company any benefits to enable treasure hunting on PC. They just don't make as much money as with Sparklet or airplane sales or boats or new cities or an activity feed or something like this. These are so. I think they are working on it, but it's priority on the priority list. Not on the top.
Definitely not on the top. That's for sure.
But I'm on your side if you say they need to maybe just put a hackathon out to say, hey, hack our app and get a bonus.
The white hackers,
They used to have a system like that back in the day. There used to be whatever they call it, a bug reward and things like that. That people, I think, Hacker famously claimed a whole bunch of those. Way back in the day.
I don't know. I heard about some of these programs, but where is it? No link on the webpage, which is under development for months now. They just need to. What's the problem to say, hey, we need you, just hack our app and you get 20 Spark, $5,000, or just a map asset for successfully hacking in us or something like this. No? But there's no announcement. Or I missed this announcement because I'm on the wrong place. A special badge.
Or a property in the next city release.
Yeah. Hey, here's your 10,000 mint property. Hey, in a neighborhood you don't want ever go minting yourself.
Absolutely. So yes, all in all, I think if you were, of course, if you were able to attend Genesis Week, no doubt you had a fantastic time. Hopefully, you didn't get yourself too strung out and hungover, and you were able to enjoy it. As I said, for those of us who weren't in attendance, yeah, this year was by far the worst year because there was just no effort whatsoever, even to put into keeping, even attempting to keep up to date with things in Discord or on X or anywhere like that, which really sucked. Swally, one last thing that you kind of mentioned was all of the attendees got at least one spark, property, and more. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw, there was a bit of griping that kicked off about this morning too when I was up and about it. Probably taken out of context, I would assume, but old mate YK2012 from the Upland Guide, he put this tweet out. People who attended Upland Me Genesis Live and received one spark
saw
looking
this.
at people who didn't. If you're listening on the Spotify, there's, I don't know what movie this is from, Werewolves or something, is it? It's like the olden-timey dudes standing up on the balcony looking down with contempt at the plebs below. He goes on to say, start planning your time off for Genesis Week 2025. I don't think he meant it the way that some people were taking this. I think it was trying to be like motivational.
Yeah,
I think sometimes certain people in the world think that everyone lives in the same country, and
yeah.
And whilst there are some people from other countries that made it to Genesis Week, and all power to them, and I hope to be one of those sometime in the future. It's certainly not something I'm going to do on a regular basis year after year because I just don't have 10, 15 grand to spend to go over there for what's effectively, 36 hours of, and this year, lack of information. Although, like I said, but I wouldn't be necessarily going over there. I'd be going over there to meet up with people that you've been chatting with, and I would have definitely loved to have a beer with Elslack this year. Like that would have been absolutely amazing. And then Mr. Alan C, like everyone's been raving about how cool he is and stuff like that. So, but I've never even really spoken to all these people. So that alone would have been, I think that's what you go there for.
Hey, just some weird theory. What about the digital Genesis Week? We have all the stuff. We have the convention centers. We have everything in the space. We are in the Web Suite. Well, why don't do some stages or build another one in San Francisco where you can just walk around with your Ready Player Me avatar and talk to players and have fun there. You can buy drinks with Apix in some of these occasions. So why don't do it full digital? Then you can get all your player base and not all this. I'm interested in maybe taking part in one of these Genesis weeks and take 24 hours in an airplane to get there. But it's like Smalley said, it's $15,000 for 2 days. Okay, you will. If I travel to the US, I will stay there for a few more weeks to see a bit around it. But this doesn't get the trip
money.
very cheaper. So it's hard. Or maybe do it. Maybe in Europe. Okay, that's from my perspective. It would be nice. From your perspective, it's just the other way around the globe. But it's all this US based. But that's the US company.
I guess that's where
other countries than the United States.
Well, it's hard to argue to do it elsewhere other than maybe Brazil, because I mean London had a meetup after London was released and 20 people turned up. I would have thought
in parallel to the Berlin release, there was a Genesis event in Berlin too, where only 5 or 6 people were in some sort of underground club, and I think there were no one from the Upland team because they were obvious all in the Genesis Week Live in Las Vegas and not in Europe, and it's hard. Maybe it will change in the future. I will not add all my other words because I'm hoping they get a bit more people around the globe playing it. Because if they take a look in their statistics and see, hey, 75% of our players are US based, so why do it elsewhere? Huh?
But we're trying to watch Goldie stream briefly during like some of those talks and whatnot. It just seemed very reminiscent of the cafe. What do they call it? Where they go and like
the stream from live from the cafe. Yep.
Yeah, or the theater or something like that, where you can just wander around and get closer and listen in. Like that is exactly where this needs to be broadcast.
Yep.
Exactly. So we can get in there in the cafe or the theater and go and watch it and move around, see who else is, maybe say hi to anyone else that's in there. And that's the virtual experience of the G Week, and to not even get a emotionless camera stuck in one corner, pointed at what was going on, like it was last year.
Last year, yes. You can take a look at all the hackathon presentations and all this stuff. There was just someone put a mobile phone on a desk with and it's streaming to somewhere. So maybe stream it to nowhere, to the partner and cafes or something like this. So it's not as hard. It's not much effort. It seems they don't want to get out of their inner circle. Huh?
The kind of the rebuttal on that was that, you know, people in there can stream, they can do whatever they want, but because Upland's, you know,
but they're paid money to be there.
Host the venue. Yeah, but they had to use the package or whatever. They had to use the Sahara package internet or something. And as we saw with the release of Bermuda, apparently that's really shitty. So there's something like that. That was the justification. Yes, and shout out to Lily, just going back. She said that image was from Interview with the Vampires. Thank you for that, Lily.
Yeah,
I kind of followed up with that tweet. I said, you know, look, would I spend $5,000 to get something that's worth less than $500? That would be madness. For me, even more so than that was when Genesis Week, the dates were released. Remember, that was on the show after that announcement. I showed that it was going to be 50 hours travel time each way or something. No, just absolute madness. It's just not practical at all. So, yes.
No, for a Metaverse 3D platform, it is extremely disappointing to see what happened over that.
Yep.
Over those 2 days. And
we are the first. We are the inventors. We are doing baby steps. But
we're going backwards each year, not forwards. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just going a few steps back to take a run.
Like, if anything, this whole ordeal over the last few days has made me almost want to go, well, F them, I don't want to go next year. This is what they think of us, you know, trying to watch from the other side of the world. Why would I make the effort to go all the way over there? But having said that, it's not necessarily about Upland. It's about the community and the people you meet and chat with all the time. You know, I've been watching all these other content creators for a couple of years now, and I feel like I know them, even though I've never met them.
Yes.
So I'd love to at least go there once, if nothing else. So I'm sure I'll get there one year. You don't need to win the lotto. We just need to plan a little bit ahead of time. But that's the other thing too. They don't announce it till like a month beforehand, and you want to try and book tickets and stuff like that. And you're like, hang on, especially international flights, you want to book them as far ahead as you possibly can, and you can't get it confirmed.
You pay big dollars.
I mean, you can take a big punt and say it's going to be that first week of June, because apparently that's when it always is. But you know, no, my luck. The week I do that, they'll go, "Oh, no, it was booked out this week."
I can promise. If I book now a flight for the first week of June, they say, "Hey, next year, we don't get it. The Sahara is closed in the first week." They take the second week, and then you say, "Hey,"
they'll say it's in Berlin this year, and you've already booked your tickets.
And I'm just on the end of my 6-week trip through the US, and say, "Hey, the big highlight is Genesis Week at the end of this trip," and then, hey, no, it's in this. Yeah,
they could at least announce the dates.
Yeah, that happened to Russell Envy, didn't it? Didn't he used to live in Las Vegas, and then he moved out, and then Genesis Live in Las Vegas? I think he got shafted with that just after he moved.
First world problem.
Absolutely. Now, Swally did give people the heads up in the YouTube chat. I can see that we have 35 people watching or listening via the Twitter and the YouTube.
I definitely don't have 35 names.
No, so if you are on the Twitter, if you can drop a comment in the space there, make sure you comment your Upland in-game name, or on the YouTubes as well. Make sure you drop it, otherwise you're going to miss out on the live participants wheel, and that would be a shame. I keep saying I'll work out a better system one of these days, eventually, sometime soon, maybe in the year, who knows when. Yes. So until then, we're working with a manual system. So yeah, make sure you get your name in. All right, so we'll move on to some quips. If you have an Upland-related question, insight, provocation, or statement that we can dive into on the weekly Upland Down Under podcast, then there is a link to a quips Google form in the description. Click on that, get on over there, have your say. If you include your in-game name in your submission and it's used in the show, you win yourself some kind of prize. We've got kind of 2.5 this week. We start off with a double pack or a 2-pack from 6 who first asks, I've never played the sandbox game. Are we going to need to learn how to play it? Good question. Are you going to need to learn how to play it? No, of course not. Should you maybe go over there and check it out and see what they've got going on? I would say that's definitely would be a good idea. I've set up an account there. I haven't set up my avatar or anything like that. It is on my to-do list. Yeah, I think if it's something that interests you, especially if you are a UGC content creator such as myself, and there is going to be interoperability and cross-promotions and whatnot, it would be behoove you to get over there or to at least set up an account and check it out. So, I don't know. Anybody else? Swiley, you said you've been over there. You've already got Sandbox Assets or something? Was that you?
I already played the couple of seasons. Yeah, I had a
Yep.
They had the season 1 or alpha season or something like that, which I competed in, and I think there was a second one. I won a prize, but due to an issue with some compatibility between the browser and their platform, it didn't come through in time, and I missed out on $5,000, so I was a bit upset. So I haven't played since. But yeah, and for all accounts, yeah, I don't know. So I still got the account there somewhere. I'm sure I could dig it out and find it. But yeah, I started playing Upland and never looked back.
Yep. Yeah, so 6 weeks, I think, yeah, you might as well just go over there, set up an account. It costs nothing to set up an account and set up your avatar. You might as well. Can't hurt. Right. In a later submission, he also asks, preparing to connect my wallet for Ethereum and Sparklet in Upland. Will this give players access to add, remove assets from the game? Is that in the future? In brackets, if we wanted to leave Upland, could a player take their block explorers with them, for example? We already have that functionality at the moment with the Ethereum portal. You can, at this very present point in time, take your block explorers out.
Why would you? Why would you, though?
If you have enough Ethereum to pay the high gas fees.
Gas fees, yeah.
Get them somewhere else.
Your block explorers and map assets have some value, even if it's only minor value, but some value in Upland. What value are they going to have anywhere else?
Yeah. It's another one of those things where, and this is on my to-do list as well, and I didn't realise before too, just for shits and giggles, I clicked on that neighbourhood bundle thing, and my MetaMask popped up. And normally I just log in, but maybe MetaMask has upgraded. It was asking my seed phrase again. I had to put my new account in or something. So, yeah, I definitely want to have that all set up. So if I do decide to sell some Sparklet, it's all there, set, ready to go. So, yeah, I mean, all those little things, get them set and forget it. If you need it, it's there. If you don't, well, no harm, no foul. So thank you for that. 6 week 6, bit of a reminder to myself and to everyone else as well out there, I guess. And next up, we've got a statement from one and only Mr. Laban. He starts off by exclaiming, "Well done, Upland, with delivering an activity feed. One step closer to becoming a super app. Of course, one could complain that it could have come a while ago, but let's focus on the positive. I'm meaning he is definitely positively surprised by it. It actually works. Haven't found any points of irritation yet, but I'm sure they will come. I believe we found it in the have to push the down arrow for ages and ages to get to the bottom. The competition for who has the most followers has now begun," he concludes. Yeah, good on you.
Well, it still crashes on mobile.
It does, yeah. And even just the normal announcements one still crashes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, and I said shout out to Sir Devil. I said we had a bit of fun with some competition there, sharing screenshots of who was following the most people and whatnot. I think Shackleton might be out in front now, so that's a bit of a tip too. If you can't find the Miles B chain, go and check out Shackleton's account or Sir Devil's or Laban's. I know he's way out in front with that now as well, and you can follow along with their lists as well.
If I think another time about it, maybe some time of business. Maybe I can develop a script. What are you paying for it? To get all these followers automatically? Huh? Business opportunity incoming.
That reminds me, I was supposed to get in your ear this week actually. I know I can do it manually. Like if maybe I'll just bring it up so I'm not talking straight out of my ass. So we've got now. How do I see this? Oh, if I go into my chats, or is it channels? Channels. All right. If I want to see who is a resident of Midtown Terrace, I can, I believe, click on something here, and I can see here that there are 30 members of Midtown Terrace. Now, Lisette is not, of course, she's a community manager. So there's Lisette, Squall Muzza, Loaded Up Dan, and X1 the Gamer. So minus those 4, we've got 26 residents currently. Buelerman, is there a way to not manually, or to magically get that list of who the residents are?
From this chat, I don't know. Just take a quick look in the developer tools, the browser. If there are some,
is something I'd be willing to pay for.
But is it safe to say that these 26 people are residents? Is this working?
Yep.
This chat channel?
Yep, okay, so that's all good as far as I know. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, why do I ask? Well, you can see here, you get a sneak peek if you're not a Midtown Terrace resident. I've said calling all Midtown Terrace residents. I'm thinking about doing a monthly giveaway for residents of part of the Upland Down Under podcast. Would you like assets? So, yes, I am going to go ahead with this. I've been thinking about ways that we can add some utility, functionality, blah, 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 to the different projects. Midtown Terrace has been sitting dormant for quite a while. I am dusting it off, as you've seen, with the structure ornaments and whatnot. I am going to start doing that special giveaways for Midtown Terrace residents. If you are not a Midtown Terrace resident, which most people aren't, if you don't have a property there, I am in early talks with a few different people for a few different things, for a few different ways that you can get yourself involved. Even with Midtown Terrace, I'm looking at freeing up potentially 100 properties there that will be for sale buy-ins. I'm pretty sure I am going to go ahead with that. Those will be a mix of, if you just want one property, it'll be like it's all fully built out, so it'll be a small townhouse or something like that. If you want the full 3 collection set, there'll be 3 townhouses. Now, obviously, the first thing that the knuckleheads out there that like to shit and piss all over anything I do, they're going to say, oh, Ben 68's cashing out again. Here we go, another money grab. He's on the way out the door. Well, no, up yours. I will not be setting the prices on these. That will be part of the whole deal. If I am going to sell 100 Midtown Terrace properties, the prices for that will kind of be decided based on a council of close confidence or people that I trust and respect. I'd probably put it out there within the MBA channel, get some feedback. I will personally not set the prices on those. It's not going to be a cash grab thing. So I'll just squash that right from the get-go. So, yeah, that is going to go ahead. So, obviously, if I want to do that, special giveaways for residents. Now, Finsky, who you would know from back in the UDU days, he offered some good feedback as some of the talks I've been having where for something like that, you kind of need a tiered approach. Otherwise, you're just going to get people hopping. They're going to jump in as a resident just to take part in the giveaway. Well, maybe there's a 3-tiered system. If you've been a resident for a month, you qualify for X prize or blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to devote quite a substantial amount of UPX and various other prizes to that. So That's probably all I'm at liberty to say it now. It's still in early stages of working it all out. But yes, if Buellerman, if there is some way that you can auto-generate the list of residents, that would be massively beneficial. So, and
I'm on it. Put it on my board here.
Nice. All right, so a bit sidetracked there, but yes, thanks for 6week6 and Laban. You've both got 10,000 UPX after fees. Remember that if you want to get your hands on some easy UPX like that, there's a link to the QIPS form in the description. All right, and that brings us on to the Dynamic Node Builders Getting to Know Community Members segment, and I've just seen that Mesme is in the house too. Shout out to Mesme. Care of Mesme and the other members of the Dynamic Node Builders. They're featuring somebody who followed up with the little campaign that we did over the last couple of weeks, and that is, again, the one and only 6week6. Now, 6week6 is currently a freshly upgraded executive with a net worth of just over 10 million UPX. He's got 513 properties and 8.5 Spark. His home residence is in the Bellerose neighbourhood of Queens, aka the horror/Halloween node, Creedmoor Hub. I'll do it in the correct order this week. Let's have a sneaky peeky at what Snicks, I was going to say Snickswicks, 6week6 has got going on. So what's he got in the bank? Current balance, 4,297 UPX. Well, he's got an extra 10,000 from being involved in the QIPS, so that'll be coming through in the next 24 hours or so. Look at this for a progress chart. Very hodlerish, nice and linear there, just casual and relaxed, straight to the right, heading up. Number of properties, I'll get rid of that graph. Mint net worth, tracking fairly consistently with properties net worth, but properties net worth is, what do we got, 10 million there and about $1 million over the mint net worth. So he's been buying up something. Probably to get into Creedmoor Hub and places like that, I would expect. If you want to get involved in well-established node projects like that, it generally eats up a few resources. Let's have a look at his DMB responses. In-game name, 6week6, Uplander since January 2022. Been to Vegas? No. Bucket list, a boat trip. Would you survive the zombie apocalypse? Yes. Like the confidence. If you could start a charity, dog rescue, pet peeve, religion pushes, most helpful thing you own, dog. Nice. Guilty pleasure, chocolate covered what? Chocolate covered dog. Celebrity you know the most about, Christina Ricci. Something you'll never do again, drink Chardonnay. Ooh, there's got to be a good story there. Tattoos, no. Superpower, daydreaming. 3 Uplanders you chat with regularly. Austin Eddy, only one. So shout out to 6week6, a very active community member and supporter of the things we do here on the show. So yes, if you would like to get yourself involved in some of that action, or if you know somebody the community might be interested in learning a bit more about, then send Mesme or any of the other Dynamic Node Build members a DM, or click the link to the DMB Discord server in the description. I think I've got Mesme's X account in there as well. Say g'day and tell them the Upland Down Under podcast sent you. Now, we give you the heads up before. If you haven't made a comment in the YouTubes or on the StreamYard chat or in the X live feeds, you better hurry up and do so. You're on mute there, Swally Man.
No, I'm not.
Oh. How are we going? Oh, now we've got 40 people. I don't think we got 40 people on the list, do we?
No, not even close. No, but I normally send that through to you after you've done the contest.
Yes, I'll do that now. So you've got a little bit more time to say good day so we can get your name in the list, but you don't have long. So yes, that brings us to the weekly challenge for the NBA server competition wheel. Last week's challenge was to get yourself in the contest channel within the NBA server. Let us know what you thought about the Bermuda full expansion being chosen as the Genesis Week City release. If you were getting involved, how'd you go? And if you were sitting it out, why? Prizes, your name's going to roll on a list of all entrants for the chance to win 10,000 UPX after fees from me. Don't forget, of course, this will also get yourself another entry in the 2024 end of year giveaway prize draws. And of course, your name will also go in the draw to win the final killer 3-piece graveyard map asset set from show sponsor Laban and his Metaventure Graveyard goods, currently located in Oakland, LA, and the new showroom recently opened in Queens. All right, so let me bring this up. So this is the first of a couple of wheels. So we roll this once. That's for the 10,000 UPX. Goes to man. Look at that. He's on his back and his luck has returned. Congratulations, Bueller Man.
Woo!
I know you track
my
how much you've
deposit.
given away. You need to start tracking how much players win because he'd be killing it.
What? I don't remember there was 1 million UPX popping out in my account one day.
And that's not counting the 1 million.
Yes. Yeah. 1.2 easy, I reckon. So there you go. There's me deposit for that little job we've got you working on. So that was for the 10,000 UPX. Now we got to give away the three graveyard set from Laban, and then I'll go back and I'll do the 5,000 bonus from before too. Now, I didn't shuffle it last week. I'll shuffle, and let's go. So this is for the final 3 graveyard set from Laban. Goes to... Oh, and he's in the chat too. Hugh Yang, congratulations, mate.
Nice. That's the one I wanted, but nice.
Nice. All right, so that goes to you. Well done. I'll stay there while I run through this next bit. So, yes, now we did have a bonus prize. The bonus prize of 5,000 UPX this week from the same challenge goes to Cal Trading Co., who got a kind of, not as late as Swally got his entry in, but it was a pretty late entry. They said, Bermuda released to me was lackluster and was like they didn't put much thought or effort into it. Kind of felt like the whole Genesis week was underwhelming. I picked this one because it kind of went with the whole vibe of how many of us were feeling. Goes on to say, this was the first time I've been disciplined enough to avoid the FOMO, but did go and minted 3 just for the city collection. If they hit a limited plus collection, great. If not, cool. I'll just hold on to them. Haven't got sucked into the collection speculation all week, and I'm good with that. So, had a plan and stuck to it, and pretty much mirrored what we were feeling about Genesis week as well. So that's 5,000 bonus UPX goes to Cal Trading Co. All right, now we'll get out of there because we're just looking at that for no reason. All right, that brings us to this week's challenge. Now, yeah, you do not have to be a live participant to take part in some of the challenges and the giveaways that we do. This week's challenge is to get yourself in the contest channel within the NBA server. If you don't know what the NBA server is, you don't know where the contest channel is, the link to the NBA server is in the descriptions. Click on that and that'll get you in the server and you can say, hey, where's the contest channel? Should be pretty easy to find though. Once you're in there, let us know what your favorite event or tidbit of information was from Genesis Week 2024 and why. And or, if you'd prefer, what did you feel was missing from Genesis Week this year? And here's a hint. If you want a shot at the 5,000 UPX bonus prize, you're going to have to answer both of those questions. So what was your favourite bit about Genesis Week and what do you think was missing from Genesis Week? Prizes, once again, your name will roll on a list of all entrants for the chance to win 10,000 UPX after fees. That will, of course, get you another entry into the 2024 end-of-year prize draws. And next week, we start off with another show sponsor. That'll carry over to the following week after that. All right, Swally Man's hit me with a list. Let me see if I can find that. Yep, I can patch Angry in as well. Now, I can see there's a few people over. I'm going to run the live participants wheel just on the regular one because then we've got the other bonus one. So we'll go back to this one. I'll goink them out of there and let me just have a quick look at... Yeah, you messaged 5 hours earlier. I'll put it in there. He messaged and said, g'day, why not? Now, what do we got? Nobody's messaged there, but we had Kushal. I know Kushal, so I can put that in. Yeah, people on Twitter, on X, you didn't comment, so pretty hard for me to patch you in, which is a shame. But I'll put you in anyway, because I know who you are. Kushao. What? I'm on the wrong one. Kushao. All right, yes, as I said, we will work out a better system for this eventually. So this is going to decide it's going to spin the wheel. Going back to the old one system we used to do. Hey, it's Lily 50. Lily or Caesar? It is Caesar. Caesar. Now, I said I kind of scrambled the live participants wheel together in a bit of a hurry. Well, here it is. So a few extra prizes on here this week. There's a chance at 5,000 UPX, 10,000 UPX, 15,000 UPX, 2 chances at a mystery map asset, and 1 chance at a Samurai Codex Red Garden Bridge. And Caesar has one. Has he got the 15? He's got the biggest prize straight from the get-go. He did. Look at that. Wow. 15,000 UPX on the way for you, Caesar.
Oh, crap. I'll have to start adding my name in.
That wheel. Yes. Well, you should do. You should do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? Why the hell not, mate?
I won too much before.
Yes, well. Might as well. If I'm dishing some out, have at it. Get some. Somebody's got to get it.
I'm nice and early for next week's contest. I'm already in.
Good on you. Good on you. Yes, I was kind of holding off. I was nearly going to do that bit, and I thought, Swell has got his entry in. I'll give him another hour this afternoon. So
I usually do it after I do the numbers for the show.
Yes.
And then I just remember. Right. I just read everyone else's answers to remember what the question was.
Yes. Well, that's a sneaky way to do it too. You don't even have to watch the show. Look at that. You can have a shortcut. Yes. All right. Well, that's all I've got for this week. As I said, we did cover quite a bit. We went on a bit of a rant and a rave. There was some very cool things that did come out of it all. I think we've offered hopefully some constructive feedback, criticism of how Genesis Suite can be improved on in the future. Other than that, unless anybody else has anything to spam, share, promote, we shall get out of here. No? All good? All right, then we've got a little bit of a blurb to finish up on. So a reminder that if you are in a time zone that fits in with the Thursday night recording live streaming schedule starting at 7 p.m. AEST and you'd like to get yourself involved, the link to the weekly podcast will always be dropped in the NBA server about 15 minutes before the show starts. Of course, we'll go live on YouTube and whatnot too. You can click in. If you are in live via the StreamYard, you can see me scrambling to get ready for the show. And of course, we have a bit of a chit-chat and that before we press the go live button as well. That invitation extends to any of the other channels, podcast productions. So if you have an Upland, NFT, or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, then send me, Ben68, a DM or get yourself in the NBA server, which is linked in the description. And don't forget, and special thanks to Laban, who sponsored the show for the last few weeks, giving away a whole bunch of awesome prizes. Get on over and check out what Laban's got going on at Graveyard Goods. And a reminder that if you do own a property in the Lone Mountain, San Francisco neighborhood, you can slash 50% off the retail price. DM Laban for more details. Links for everything that we've covered on the show should hopefully be in the description if they fit. And on that note, don't forget Collect and Reveal coming up. If you do have properties for sale, you might want to look at pulling them down or readjusting the prices. And all the best, and hope you get something good. And we'll catch you later.